Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the all-new 2025 Kia Carnival. This is the hybrid SX Prestige. It's finished off in ceramic silver and it has an MSRP just over $54,000. Now the hybrid is powered by the 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It is paired to a 6-speed automatic and it pumps out 242 horsepower, 271 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the front wheels, propelling this 4,800 pound vehicle from 0 to 60 in around 7.8 seconds. It also has a fuel capacity of 19 gallons. You'll expect to see around 34 miles per gallon in the city, 31 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 121.7 inches. Its overall length is 203. It has a width of 89.2, a height of 69.9, and its ground clearance measures in at 6.8 inches. Now for the 25-year model, there have been some slight updates for this. So we have some new headlights, new taillights, there's some new wheels, and some new interior options as well. So up front, let's start off with all of the LEDs. You'll notice that the turn signal has a really nice slim design to it, and it wraps around the entire front end all the way to the bottom, where there's also that quad beam design for the headlights and the high beams. Now there's also a very large grille. There's the Kia badge up top, finished off in gloss black. There's also a forward-facing camera, and then some chrome accents that run throughout that grille, and this dark gray trim surround that gives it a great look. There's also parking sensors up front, and then in the lower section, there is a sensor for the distance pacing, as well as fog lights that are nicely integrated, and a lot more cutouts and some more of that gray trim to give it a nice look. And there's also some really nice lines that run down the hood as well. I think it gives it a great front end for this minivan. Now as we work our way to the side, this model has a set of gloss black wheels that have a nice design to them. There's also a two-tone design for the power folding side mirrors with the gloss black and the gray. There's a camera and a turn signal. There's roof racks up top, and this Carnival also has two sunroofs. So the one up front will open up, including the one in the back too. So that way your backseat passengers can have that open experience. There's also some black trim around the windows there. And then there's more of that gray trim in the lower section, as well as a little bit of plastic in that lower side skirt. And I think it has a great design to it with being a stretch vehicle like this for a minivan. There's also this intricate pattern on the back here that actually has a texturized feel to it. That is neat to see, and that trim accent goes down the rest of that window. Now in back, there's the two-tone design for the spoiler, along with the integrated third brake light. There's also a camera. This is for the digital rear view mirror. Wiper blade is tucked up underneath, so that way it gives it a clean look. There's also LEDs in the back. There's the traditional backup camera, all of the parking sensors, and then the hybrid can tow right around 2,500 pounds. So if you have to put some small trailers behind this, you have the option to do that. Now, as we work our way to the cargo space, you have a few different ways to open up this lift gate. You can use that control up underneath, or of course, you can hold the button on the key fob and use that as needed. Now, in the back, this particular model is an 8-seater. I currently have the third row down, so you can see just how much storage you have to the second row. Now, you can also move those seats forwards to allow for more cargo space if needed. Now, there's also these two cutouts on the driver's side where you can place some items. There's also a 12-volt and a 3-prong there. And then you have your cup holder storage space for your third row. The third row is manual. So all I have to do is pull on this. I can easily do that with one hand and then pull on this strap here and lock it into place. And then with those up, look at how deep this compartment is. So you have a lot of space with these out of the way. You could fit in 8 people and all of their luggage, which is impressive. And then of course you can fold down all of the seats if needed. Now with the Carnival too, with these back seats, you can fold them down to give you a nice flat surface, especially when you have the third row down or out of the way. But you can also go one step further. There's a lever underneath where you can actually completely remove the seats in the back. So you can remove all 3 of these to give you a large flat surface. If you're moving or you're putting in some larger items, this is going to be an added benefit to have. And then up top, you have the 2 buttons to close that lift gate and lock the vehicle as well. Now, as we work our way to the second row seating or to the back seats, you have a few different ways that you can open this door. You can simply push on that button, or you can even hold the buttons on the key fob in order to do that. So I can do that for both sides, of course, or of course push that button, and there's also a hidden button right here. So you have a few different ways that you can do this depending on what you need. Now for the second row here, they do recline. They have the adjustable armrest, so you could turn these into a captain's chair if you remove that middle seat there. But let's work our way to the third row. So just pull on this tab here, and that actually folds the seat down. It will lock into place, so you do need 2 hands to unlock that. And once you pull that back up, pull on this handle right here, and that is how you can slide that seat forwards. So at 5'10", I can hop into the third row. Now, at 5'10", I have plenty of space. Like I said, you can move these seats forwards if you need a little bit more leg room. And I am just barely touching the headliner here. And then, like I said, you can actually recline these seats, so there is a strap here. If I go a little bit farther back, now I just have a little bit more headroom. So I could ride around in the back, just depending on if I needed to be back here. Now you have those cup holders, you have some auxiliaries, you even get a window shade, so you can use that as needed. And then there's the vents up top, so you can at least get some airflow to the back. And then it's really easy to hop out. From there, you can simply just push this seat back, lock it into place, and then we can hop into the second row and either push on that button right there, or you can actually push on the handle itself. So you can just use this as another way to do that. Where there's also the window control, there's another sunshade for this ginormous window, and then you have cup holder storage in the lower section. Now at my height, 5'10", I have a lot of space. There's also storage pockets. You have cup holders along with some auxiliaries, more storage down below. And then at my height, I have plenty of space here with that sunroof. Now, like I said, you can recline these as well. So we can go all the way back just to get a little bit more comfortable. And then I can use the bar up underneath and slide this all the way forwards or all the way back. So just depending on the comfort that you need. Now with this middle seat, you can actually slide this very far back. You can go farther back than this. When you have the third row down, this can go all the way into the back. So very interesting to see that. You can also fold this seat down, and that will give you this storage tray along with cup holders and a little bit of space right in the middle. And then here's a look at visibility. You have a lot of glass for this minivan. You'll also notice too that the climate adjustments are over on this passenger side. So you have fan speed, where you'd like the air to go, and the temperature as well. And then I'll just pull on this handle to open this up, and then I can push on this as I exit and do a 2-for-1 there to close it. Now for the front door panel, you'll notice there's the memory seating adjustments along with this trim accent surrounding the release handle. There's your side mirror adjustments, all the window controls, and then a lot more storage in that lower section. And then we have the same two-tone design for the seats up front, which are power operating for up front. And then we have the solid leather steering wheel. So let's start this up. That button's located down below, and we can go over the rest of these controls where you have your voice commands along with mode. There's tuning and volume. You have a Bluetooth control as well as a favorites button. So when you push on that, you can go through the infotainment system and customize that to the button that you use the most. So you have quite a lot that you can go through to set that up. Now on the right side, there's your distance pacing, your steering assist or your lane keeping assist. And then you also have cruise control settings and this pages button here to go through the digital gauge cluster. So you have a few things that you can monitor, some of these vitals here that you can pull up. And then like you just saw, you can pull up the compass and then your lane keeping assist. The rest of this screen is fixed, so that is what you get for that system. And then this model also has steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Now these have a dual purpose. When you have the vehicle in drive, you can actually tap on these paddles and that will go through LV1 through 3. This is for the regenerative braking. However, if you put the model into sport mode, now you can use these to change gears. So you can go through 1 through 6 there, which is pretty neat to see that dual purpose. I haven't seen that before. Now on this left side, there's traction control, even a tow mode, dimmer switches for the gauges. There's one air vent there. This model does feature a head-up display. So you have miles per hour, speed limit sign, and then your distance pacing. And then to go over the rest of this information for the gauge cluster now, for the home screen, you have a split view here, along with all of these icons that you can scroll through. One thing that this does have is the passenger view. So there is a camera just above the headrest of the second row, so that way you can see into the third row. That way you don't have to turn around, you can just look at that as needed. and then you can quickly get back into the rest of these icons. Now it's a touchscreen system, as you can see, or you can use all the controls that are down below. So there's home, you can get into map, there's also your media, you can get into your setup as well and go through all this information. And then what's really interesting is you can actually change this entire screen simply by pushing on the fan icon. So once you do that, the controls on the side go from volume to your temperature dials, and you will see that change and adjust right there. So now we have all the climates, you have your fan speed, where you like the air to go, along with auto, and your temperature for your passenger. Simply push on that again, and now you're into defrosters, as well as tuning and all of the audio adjustments. There's also 2 air vents right in the middle of both of those. You have quite a lot of auxiliaries down below, including wireless charging and a large storage bin on this side. There's also 2 cup holders, and then this is how we can put the vehicle into gear. Simply twist it to the left. The dial will actually vibrate, I guess just reminding you that you are in reverse. And then you have a few different angles here that you can go around, including the 360 view. If I twist the dial into drive, now we have the forward-facing camera, so we can pull that up in full screen and go through the same 360 view here. So you have no shortage of visibility. Park is going to be right in the middle. There's the e-brake, along with a few different driving modes. You have Eco, Sport, and Smart. The gauge cluster will change slightly, but all the information is still going to be the same. So just a little bit different of a layout. There's auto hold behind that. And then this model gets heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, you have parking sensors, and a shortcut to that camera system, so you can pull that up. There's also a little bit of storage. You have plenty of storage in the armrest. There's also storage in the glove box. Up top, you have garage door buttons, and then on the right side, these are adjustments for the digital rear view mirror. So that camera that I showed earlier, you can go through all of these settings just depending on what you would like to see with that. And then up top, you have another control to open up these sliding rear doors. You have the liftgate release. You can shut the doors off so they can be manually opened. You have Kia Connect, and then you have the front and rear sunroofs. Now, both of these sunshades are manual, so you can slide the front one, slide that rear one, and then open up the windows from there. And then look at how much glass there is. It is very easy to see all around. For the length of this vehicle, you have a lot of visibility. As we set off now behind the wheel for the Kia Carnival, I've been able to drive this for a few days now just to get my bearings with it. I'm not around minivans all that often, so it's nice to get some seat time and really see what this vehicle has to offer. I'm pretty impressed with this so far. I'm especially impressed with the paddle shifters having their dual purpose. And as we get up to speed here from 3rd gear, I'm also impressed with the power that this has with the hybrid system. Now, I think I mentioned earlier, you can also go with the 3.5 liter V6. That is going to be in the lower trim levels. So if you would rather have that engine, you have that option. For this top trim level, we just have the hybrid here. But plenty of power to get this nearly 5,000 pound vehicle up to speed. It's going to have plenty of get up to it. It's not going to be underpowered or feel like it's underpowered for the smaller displacement that this engine has. But it's also really nice that you can go into your eco mode and then adjust your regen braking. So you can actually drive this almost one pedal. You don't have to necessarily touch the brake pedal if you have it all the way up in the 3 range there. So by letting off, we are slowing down much quicker than just coasting if we had that completely off. So it gives you some of those added benefits as well, especially in stop and go traffic. You don't have to use the brake pedal as often. So we have some really nice creature comforts in this to make for a great daily driver. This is a vehicle that you are going to be driving a lot. You're going to be bringing people with you from point A to point B, and you just have a really relaxing ride. There's been no wind noise, road noise. I've been out on the highway with this. It seems like a very composed vehicle. And of course you can go, I think they start around $40,000 for a non-hybrid. So you have some wiggle room with the MSRP there, just depending on your budget and the options that you would like. But it's been nice. I don't really have any complaints with it. It's just a good people hauler. We have a lot of great technology too. So if you're looking for a vehicle with the camera system and everything like that. So we're in sport mode from 2nd gear. Here we go. And we are up to speed. Not the quickest vehicle, but I'm impressed with its get up. We definitely have plenty of power to get up and merge, especially in highway situations like this. Now, like I said, I have been driving this for a few days, so I have been doing a combination of city and highway driving, but we don't do too many reviews out on the highway, so you can see what it's like as far as, hopefully you can tell there's no wind noise, but it's a very comfortable vehicle to drive. You could really rack up the miles on this. We still have 514 miles on the range. When I got this a few days ago, it was around 560 to 570, and it still hasn't come off of the full line there. So you have a very, very fuel efficient vehicle. You could probably, depending on your driving style and how often or far you're driving, you could probably go a week and a half or two without having to fill up, maybe even longer. For me, it would probably be much longer with the driving commutes that I have, but pretty impressive to see that. And it's just an overall really nice vehicle to drive and be behind the wheel. Now, as far as the regen braking goes, I still have it on level 3. So when I let off the brake, we do slow down quite a bit versus just cruising on the level 1 there. So you are going to get more regenerative braking from the highway speeds versus around the city, but it's still helpful no matter what driving that you are doing. I really don't have any complaints with it. We have added visibility there, which is nice. We have the 360 or the digital rear view mirror there too. So it's really easy to drive. It is a long vehicle. Being a minivan, it is stretched fairly long, but it's very maneuverable. It's easy to park. I really don't have any complaints with it. If you're just looking for a people hauler and you want that added space, even being able to take the seats out, you could pack in a lot of items if you're moving or something like that. So you are getting a well-rounded vehicle for just putting anything in here that you want. And it really makes for a great daily driver, something that's super comfortable and gives you everything that you need. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2025 Kia Carnival Hybrid. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.